In life, we often face difficulties that challenge our patience, our endurance, and our belief in ourselves. We encounter moments when we feel as though we have reached the end of our rope, when the weight of the world seems too heavy to bear, and when the future appears unclear. But it is in these very moments of struggle and adversity that the potential for growth lies. Life, after all, is not just about what happens to us. It's about how we respond to what happens. And when we face obstacles, it's not the obstacle itself that defines us, it's how we choose to rise above it, to rebuild, to persevere, and to transform ourselves through it. As we approach the year 2025, this is the perfect moment to reflect on the challenges we've faced and understand how we can turn them into stepping stones to a brighter, more successful future. Rebuilding yourself is not about simply returning to where you were before a setback. It's about evolving, about learning from your experiences and using them to build a stronger version of yourself. It's about recognizing that each challenge holds a lesson, and that by embracing those lessons, you can unlock a new level of strength and resilience. There is no doubt that life will present you with hardships, obstacles, and setbacks in the year to come. You may experience professional difficulties, health challenges, or personal struggles that make it feel as though rebuilding is an impossible task. But here's the truth: every setback is an opportunity to grow, every failure is a chance to learn, and every challenge is a moment where you can choose to emerge stronger than before. If you want to rebuild yourself in 2025, you must start by shifting your mindset from seeing obstacles as barriers to seeing them as opportunities for personal growth. Look at the great figures in history, the ones who have achieved extraordinary success. Denzel Washington, for example, has faced his own challenges and adversities, both personally and professionally. From growing up in a tough neighborhood to experiencing setbacks in his career, Denzel has lived through moments that could have defined him in negative ways. Yet he has always chosen to face those challenges head on, to use them as lessons rather than allowing them to defeat him. His story is one of resilience, persistence, and unwavering belief in his ability to rebuild himself, and if he can do it, so can you. The key to rebuilding yourself is to recognize that failure is not permanent unless you choose to let it be. Failure is simply a part of the process. It's an inevitable part of any journey toward success. Every person who has achieved greatness has faced failures along the way. But the difference between those who succeed and those who give up is their ability to learn from those failures. It's the understanding that setbacks are not the end of the road, but merely a detour, an opportunity to reassess, regroup, and continue forward with newfound wisdom. In 2025, as you rebuild yourself, you must accept that growth is uncomfortable. Growth requires effort, and often it requires suffering. It requires facing fears, confronting doubts, and stepping outside your comfort zone. When you are rebuilding, there will be days when you feel exhausted, when you question whether it's worth it, and when you wonder if you're on the right path. It's easy to give in to self-doubt and to fall victim to negative thoughts. But it's important to remember that these feelings are natural. They are part of the process. Every person who has achieved greatness has felt the weight of doubt and fear. The key is to acknowledge these feelings, but not let them control you. Instead, use them as motivation to push harder, to go further, and to prove to yourself that you are stronger than you ever thought possible. One of the most powerful ways to rebuild yourself is to shift your perspective on failure. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid, begin to see it as a necessary part of the journey. In fact, failure is the most honest feedback you can get. It shows you where you need to improve, where your weaknesses lie, and where your growth potential is. And when you begin to see failure in this light, you no longer fear it. You no longer view it as something to be ashamed of. Instead, you embrace it because you understand that it is only through failure that you will be able to rebuild yourself into the person you want to become. Rebuilding requires a commitment to continuous learning. If you want to grow, you must be willing to expand your knowledge, to gain new skills, and to approach life with a beginner's mindset. Whether it's taking up a new hobby, seeking out mentorship, or pursuing further education, every effort you make to improve yourself adds to your foundation. Every book you read, every course you take, and every new challenge you embrace contributes to your ability to rebuild and evolve into a stronger, more capable version of yourself. But rebuilding is not just about intellectual growth, it's also about emotional and psychological growth. Often the biggest challenges we face are not external, but internal. They are the negative thought patterns, the limiting beliefs, and the fears that hold us back. In 2025, if you want to rebuild yourself, you must commit to healing and growing on the inside as well as the outside. This means confronting your inner demons, letting go of past hurt, and forgiving yourself for mistakes you've made. It means learning how to manage stress, anxiety, and fear in healthy ways so that they do not control your life. And it means developing emotional resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity without losing hope or motivation. Another essential aspect of rebuilding yourself is developing a mindset of perseverance. Too many people give up too soon. They encounter a setback, a failure, or a difficult situation, and they throw in the towel thinking it's just not meant to be. But the truth is, most people never see the full fruits of their labor because they quit too early. Rebuilding yourself takes time. It requires dedication. It requires you to show up, even when it feels like nothing is happening, even when the progress is slow, and even when the world around you seems to be moving faster than you are. But if you keep going, even in the face of adversity, you will eventually reach your destination. Success is not about making a dramatic change overnight. It's about the small, consistent actions you take every single day. Every time you face a challenge and choose to keep going, you are rebuilding yourself. Every time you choose to face a fear, to take a risk, or to try something new, you are rebuilding yourself. In the year 2025, if you commit to this process of continuous growth and perseverance, you will find that the challenges you once thought were insurmountable will become mere stepping stones on your journey. Finally, remember that rebuilding is not a solitary journey. Surround yourself with people who support and encourage you. Find those who will lift you up when you feel down, those who will hold you accountable when you lose your way, and those who will inspire you to keep going when you want to quit. The people you associate with can have a profound impact on your ability to rebuild. Seek out mentors, friends, and allies who will push you to become the best version of yourself, and who will celebrate your successes with you when you finally achieve your goals. As you step into 2025, I want you to remember one thing: you are not defined by your past mistakes or your current struggles. You are defined by your ability to rise above them, to learn from them, and to rebuild yourself into something stronger. Challenges will come. Setbacks will happen. But as long as you continue to show up, continue to learn, and continue to grow, you will rebuild yourself into the person you were always meant to be. The road may be long, the journey may be tough, but it will be worth it. As Denzel Washington often says, don't aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. In 2025, rebuild yourself not just for your own sake, but for the sake of those around you, for the difference you can make in this world. The challenges you face will shape you, but they do not define you. It's how you respond to them that will define the person you become. So embrace the challenges ahead, use them as opportunities to grow, to rebuild, and to rise higher than you ever thought possible. Your future self is waiting for you to become the best version of yourself, and it all begins with how you choose to face the challenges of today. Rebuilding yourself in 2025 is not something that happens overnight. It's not about grand gestures or a sudden, dramatic transformation. It's about making small, consistent decisions every single day. It's about waking up with purpose and dedicating yourself to the work that is required for your growth. The power to rebuild lies in your ability to discipline yourself, to stay consistent in your efforts, and to never give up, even when the path seems uncertain. In our fast-paced world, we're often drawn to the idea of instant success. We want results, and we want them quickly. We see social media posts showcasing the polished outcomes of others' hard work and sometimes feel as though we're falling behind. But what we fail to recognize is that success isn't the product of a single moment or a sudden burst of brilliance. True success is the result of many quiet, unseen moments of discipline, effort, and consistency that add up over time. When Denzel Washington speaks about success, he doesn't talk about the glamorous side of fame. He talks about the discipline required to reach greatness. He speaks about showing up every day, even when no one is watching, even when the results aren't immediate. That's what it takes to truly rebuild your self-discipline, day after day. Discipline is about doing the right thing, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about committing to your goals and your vision for the future, even when obstacles arise, even when it feels like the world is pulling you in 1,000 different directions. If you want to rebuild yourself in 2025, you must embrace the power of discipline. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without discipline, all the potential in the world will remain untapped. It's the consistent, everyday actions, the small choices to take the right step that ultimately lead to transformation. Consider the most successful people you know. What sets them apart is not their talent alone, but their ability to stay disciplined. Denzel Washington, for example, has had to endure rejection, hardship, and struggles in his career. He didn't become the icon he is by waiting for opportunities to find him. He worked tirelessly. He kept honing his craft. He didn't let fear or doubt dictate his journey. It was his relentless pursuit of excellence day after day that led him to where he is now. And if you want to rebuild yourself, you need to follow that example. Whether it's your career, your relationships, your health, or your personal growth, the same principle applies: discipline and consistency. Consistency is the second vital ingredient in rebuilding yourself. Discipline without consistency is like a house built on sand. It's one thing to commit to a goal, but it's another to show up every day and do the work required to achieve it. Consistency is about making progress even when it feels slow or when you don't see the immediate results you desire. It's about trusting the process, knowing that every effort you put in is contributing to your long-term success. Think of it like planting seeds. You don't see the fruit right away, but every time you water the plant, every time you nurture it, it grows. Eventually, you'll begin to see the fruits of your labor. In the year 2025, if you want to rebuild yourself, you must be willing to show up every day. Whether it's dedicating time to your health, your education, or your personal development, it takes daily effort to make progress. This is where most people fail. They give up too soon. They don't see immediate results, and so they think their efforts aren't working. But the truth is, success takes time. It takes consistent effort. It's the compound effect. Small efforts compounded over time lead to extraordinary results. The key is not to focus on immediate rewards, but to trust that the work you're putting in now will pay off in the future. Let's take a moment to break down how consistency works in practice. If your goal is to improve your physical health, for example, it's not about hitting the gym once and expecting to see instant results. You need to commit to regular exercise, whether it's a simple daily routine or a more intense workout plan. You need to eat the right foods every day, even when it's tempting to indulge in unhealthy choices. It's the small, consistent actions that create lasting change. Rebuilding your body is not about an overnight transformation. It's about making the choice every day to invest in your health. In 2025, ask yourself, am I showing up every day for my goals? Am I putting in the consistent effort necessary to achieve what I want? The same principle applies to your professional life. Success in your career doesn't come from one brilliant project or one big presentation. It comes from consistently delivering value, from continually improving your skills, and from showing up every day with dedication and commitment. It's the days when no one is watching, when you're putting in the work behind the scenes, that matter most. Success is not a one-time achievement. It's a result of countless hours of effort, attention to detail, and unwavering commitment to your craft. When you combine discipline with consistency, something magical happens. You develop momentum. Momentum is the force that propels you forward, even when things get difficult. Once you build momentum, it becomes easier to continue on your path because you've established a rhythm. Just like an athlete who trains daily, every rep, every set, every practice adds to their strength, making the next challenge easier to face. Momentum is what keeps you going when you might otherwise want to stop. And that momentum is what you'll need to rebuild yourself in 2025. But here's the hard truth: when you're in the process of rebuilding, there will be times when you feel frustrated. There will be days when you question your efforts. There will be moments when it feels like all the hard work you're putting in is not yielding any results. But this is where discipline and consistency truly shine. When you feel this way, it's a sign that you are on the right track. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone and taking steps toward growth. This is the moment to double down, to keep going, and to remind yourself that consistency is key. The only way to fail is to stop trying. The discipline to keep going is what separates those who succeed from those who quit. The consistent effort, even on the days when you feel like giving up, is what sets you apart from the rest. Denzel Washington has said, "You pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too." Rebuilding yourself is not always glamorous. It's not always easy. But if you are disciplined enough to push through the struggles, if you are consistent enough to show up even when you don't feel like it, you will see the results. Every day you stay committed, every day you push yourself to work a little harder, you are one step closer to the person you want to become. In 2025, as you rebuild yourself, remember that the process is just as important as the outcome. The discipline to stay on track, to keep putting in the work, and to never lose sight of your goals will ultimately bring you closer to your vision. but it will also transform you along the way. As you build habits of discipline and consistency, you'll find that not only do you achieve your goals, but you also grow as a person. You become stronger, more resilient, and more capable. The work you put in every day will shape you into someone who can face challenges with confidence and resilience. So commit to rebuilding yourself in 2025. Embrace the power of discipline and make consistency your daily practice. Show up every day, do the work, and trust the process. You have everything you need to succeed. All it takes is the dedication to keep going, no matter what. The life you dream of is built on the small, consistent actions you take today. And when you look back at the end of 2025, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. Your future self is waiting, and the only thing standing between you and that future is the discipline and consistency you apply every day. Make the choice now. Take the first step. Show up for yourself. Keep going. Rebuild yourself. In the end, the journey of rebuilding yourself in 2025 begins with one simple decision: to show up every day committed to the work required to become the best version of yourself. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect circumstances. It's about embracing the power of discipline and consistency, doing the work even when it feels tough, staying focused when distractions arise, and trusting that every small effort you make is leading you closer to your goals. Success is not a flash of brilliance. It's a steady accumulation of daily actions, of showing up when you don't feel like it, and pushing through even when the road seems difficult. And just like the great achievers of our time, including Denzel Washington, you too can rise above the challenges, break through the setbacks, and rebuild yourself into someone unrecognizable, someone stronger, more resilient, and more capable. In 2025, your potential is limitless, but it's up to you to put in the work. It's up to you to decide that, no matter the obstacles, you will continue to move forward, one step at a time. When you combine the discipline to stay on track with the consistency to keep moving, you'll find that nothing can stand in your way. The life you desire is built not by big, flashy moments, but by the quiet, consistent dedication you put into every day. So I ask you, as you move forward into 2025, will you commit to your growth? Will you show up every day no matter how hard it gets? Will you believe in the power of discipline and consistency? The future is yours to shape, and it starts now. The only limit to your success is the effort you put in, the discipline you bring, and the consistency with which you pursue your goals. Rebuild yourself in 2025. Your best self is waiting for you. All it takes is the decision to keep going. Let this be the year you become everything you've ever dreamed of.